Got
All
it.
right. Got it. Hi, everybody. It is Wednesday, November 8th. And this is Dr. Sharon again and Walt. And we have a special guest live from what city are you in Iowa?
I'm actually in Dubuque, Iowa.
Dubuque,
Not born and
Iowa.
raised in Iowa, but
But
Dubuque.
living there now and
Yes,
making an
yes.
impact. Kyla McComas, who's going to join us to have a conversation about the impact of healthy surroundings or the lack thereof during the holiday season. We've been talking for the last couple weeks about how to maintain and create better health and to getting through the seasons of the holiday um, healthier than maybe ever before. And so this evening, we're going to talk about the healthy surroundings, what it means to us, as well as things that you can do for yourself over the next several weeks ahead. So with that, I'll
Yes.
turn it over to Walt.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome again to our conversations on Wednesday in Wellness. So, Kayla and Sharon, I know we've been chattering in the pregame here about healthy surroundings. And, I think that, you know, before we talk about healthy surroundings and necessarily the holidays, how do we define healthy surroundings just in our everyday to day? I mean, what is a healthy surrounding in our world as health coaches that we try and help you know people find and create and maintain?
You want me to
You-
start?
Yeah, I can go at that. And you know, the idea of surroundings, they always say, like, you surround or you act and say and do the things that the five people that you surround yourself with. So stop and take a look at that. Like, what would you say the five people that you spend the most time with, how is it? Is it positive, negative, maybe a little bit, in between? And once you start to like realize that, um, things maybe start to shift a little bit and start to be like, do I want to feel this way every day? Do I want to do these things every day? Is there something I'm not chasing that I just want to go after? And who and what and where can that be? So that's how I kind of like have now realized how to go after my surroundings and what it's like and how it's changed me, and changed sometimes some relationships and some
Right,
boundaries. Yeah.
Yeah.
right, where they
For
help establish them.
right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people start by thinking, well, surroundings is like your space. And I'll touch upon that. But for us, it's who do you surround yourself with, right? We are human beings who need and crave connection. But the healthy surroundings in a physical sense is also really important. It's, what do you have in your home? What's the lighting like? Is there, I will admit, like my pile back here, it was a little sloppy a little bit ago. So I just straightened it out. But like if your space is messy, if your pantry is full of junk, if your bed's not made, if it's dark and grim, like that healthy surrounding also impacts our well-being. So it's the people and it's the physical environment.
Right. And if you think about it, I'll throw this out there. Sometimes we're in surroundings that are outside of our control.
Mm.
Sometimes we're thrust into an environment that we may not be prepared for, or we may have a scheduled event, like thinking around the holidays. We're going to have many social events. Some may be very impromptu, some may be very scheduled. They may be with people we work with. What type of thoughts do you guys have around like that impromptu happy hour at work, where everybody says, let's go out to happy hour. And, you know, you're kind of like you say, who do you surround yourself with? Well, do you go? Don't you go? What do you do? If you're trying to kind of, you know, work through some stuff.
Ooh, that was a tough one for me, Walt. A little background about me. My career has always been in event and restaurant industry. So can you imagine all the things that I've been surrounded with, not only people, but the constant, food in front of your face or beverage. So this was always a tricky one because um I would always say I'm the life of the party. So I gotta go. I gotta have these drinks because alcohol makes me even more fun to be around and all these things. And I had that crazy, thought in my head that if I'm not eating, drinking, partaking in all these things, then nobody wants to hang out with me. And I'm not fun anymore. Like, and it was till like I was like, what I can be just as fun having great conversation without being influenced by stuffing myself with food and or alcohol, usually at holiday events. And once I like realized that 5 years ago when I decided to move forward with my health journey, like I was like, yeah, it took me a while, but I started saying, I feel so much better and more engaged in these conversations that I'm having with coworkers and other people. I can either remember or have like just meaningful conversations. Like it was just like I can actually ask questions. I'm not like wild and all over the place. I don't feel full and uncomfortable and all these things. And I just started to have like, and maybe we didn't go into this part, but I would start having like beverages that, maybe looked like alcohol or had carbonation in it at the beginning of my journey. Now I don't care if I tell people like I don't want it tonight. Like I just don't give into peer pressure as much as I I used to. So there's things and ways that I kind of twisted that and was like, well, I don't want to feel like dirt in the morning. I don't want to tell myself that, gosh, you ate so much and you're so uncomfortable. Like, why not wake up and be like, man, it was a great night and I had a wonderful time and great conversations and connecting with people. And that's where my joy is at. So I don't know if that answered the question, but it's
I thought that was amazing because my follow-up question was going to be the morning after, right? Like,
yes.
right.
Yes.
How's the difference now from 5 years now to today of the morning after? Because that's of course it's been a while in my case where the morning after really got to me, but that's usually where I think you kind of right. You either
Yeah.
savor the moment that you just had with all these people. So I guess the thing of it is what were some of the things that you felt as you started to transition this way of thinking right around the surroundings and the people, because you just talked about the five people concept that we talk about often. How did you start out with that? What type of shifts did you go through along the way, or were you able to kind of do it like that?
Oh man, it did take me it did take me a while because it was that again that hard, mindset of like, wait, I need to be the life of party. Oh wait, no, I can still be fun and not. And it was just like that cross of like, okay, this is like hard and it's a hard switch. But I started to like realize things like, especially the holidays. Okay, like the same things happen every single year. Like you get piles of cookies in your office or whatever. Somebody's gifting you guys something for being a part of their company or whatever. Like that happens every single year, right? Thanksgiving, these same things happen. And I want to be clear, like, I'm not saying don't enjoy these things. Like, I love a good pecan pie. And maybe you guys say it a little bit different up there. Is it pecan or pecan? Yeah. But anyway, I love, yeah, I love a good pie, but I didn't need to have 3 slices of it. I mean, I didn't need to like overdo it. And so that was like one way of like just saying like, this happens every year. I know what that cookie tastes like. I know what this tastes like. Yeah, maybe a little nibble here and there. Like that satisfies me now more than what it did. But also it was like just telling people like, I'm not into it. Like, can I gift you something other than something that might trigger me? You know, like, can I get, can we exchange something that's doesn't revolve around food, and especially being in the restaurant industry when I was, I already
Right.
had enough food then. And so it was that I can't emphasize enough of how important it is to have somebody in your corner. And that's like somebody that has been there, done that. You can have a conversation with, like, and just say, just encourage me to stay away from this, or, encourage me to, enjoy myself, but just maybe I don't really need that. And I think those were like the 2 things is when I realized like, gosh, this happens every single year. And no, I need to tell people like, this is me, this is what I'm doing, and hold me accountable in a good way, not not yelling at me or swiping the donut out of my hand, but just enough to where it's like, well, why do you want it this way? Why do you not want that? And the whole, also I should add into that, we talk about, and you guys probably have talked about it before, but it's the whole stop, challenge, and choose concept too, like
Right.
when you go into these events or when you go into these places, it's like, stop and ask yourself, is this going to move me forward? Am I going to, get mad at myself? Am I going to, all those things? And challenge yourself. Like, am I okay without it? Like, is this am I gonna like, like cry myself to sleep because I didn't have it? Like, or, do I want to feel good when I wake up in the morning? And then choose the option, obviously, that is best for you. So I guess I'll add that part to it too, Walt.
Yeah.
But that's my side.
You gave me an idea for another question. Isn't that great?
Sorry.
So let me ask you, because you said you kind of started this thought process like 5 years ago. So have you
Mhm.
found during the course of time that some of those people around you have decided to partner and team up with you and start taking the same approach?
Yes. And in a lot of ways, it's almost like encouraging them too, right? Because they see my face light up, they see my energy, they see, you know, that I'm not like negative or like, the office talk when you always go in there and you're like, always, there's usually negativity all the time, or at least the places that I worked. But I once they kind of saw that, and they kind of saw like my relationship with my husband and my kids and all my other friends, it was like, well, I want that. Like, I want something or something similar to that extent, and of course you have some of them that just don't see that yet. Um and then of course the ones that are like, wow, I can do
Right.
this. I can do this if I have somebody like Kyla that will
Right.
come along with
Yeah.
it with me.
Well,
One of the
everybody
things,
has to take the first step. And
right.
Yeah.
One of the things I've seen and I've heard firsthand a lot from a lot of my clients is that, in adulthood, at least, if we've had bad habits, if we've been unhealthy, physically, mentally, relationally, people in our life in these holiday seasons, they just know us kind of one way. They know you as the party girl, right? And the life of the party, and she can have a couple drinks and she'll be even more fun. And that's what they associate you with. But that may not really be who we are. Who we are is not because of what we drink and act and say. And so when we start to take control of our health and we show up in the holiday season going, I'm gonna just be present and aware and healthier. Doesn't mean perfect, right?
Yeah.
People are like, who is that? And then all after that dust kind of settles, when they realize, they're like, yeah, you're pretty cool. Like they're
Yeah.
seeing the real you. And you know, the greatest, look, I'm biased, I'm a physician. The greatest gift that we have is our health. Because without
Mm,
that, we got nothing.
yeah.
And so be social with your people in this holiday season and say, the greatest gift you could give me, dear friend, is just love me enough to say, it's okay if I don't have a drink with you, or I don't need to have another piece of pie. I can have one slice. Let me cut my own slice. And then be comfortable saying, maybe later. I'll have it
Mm,
later. Later could be 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 months. It's just later, right?
yeah.
And I just think we have to be comfortable being ourselves. And if those people who are positive in our life understand that,
Mm,
we'll have those healthy surroundings. And if we have those people who don't understand that, they're the negative influences, it might be okay to say, I'm going to pass on the party tonight. I'm going to go spend some time with my family. I'm going to go do something else. It's
yeah.
okay to say no, right?
Yeah.
That's what
Agree.
that was something that kind of hit me when you were sharing. So, Walt?
Yeah,
Love it.
great stuff. I think though that there's another segment that we might want to use just to wrap things up real quickly, is those people who are in the service industry, those people who are in retail, in the industry, taking care of people and working long hours. And sometimes those surroundings and the stress that comes with that can also lead to some unhealthy habits. Any tips about, you know, people who may not get very many breaks in a long shift during that time, and be, servicing people who may not be very friendly, or people who overdo it and make it even more difficult in certain scenarios, right? So what type of situations or what type of thing could we make recommendations on that?
Well, I think the first step is getting yourself healthy first, right? And in the sense of like that, knowing the holiday season is coming, and working on yourself, your mindset, how you're going to react to these people, because there will be people that will complain about something, right? and it causes stress on you. It causes like, oh man, I just got yelled at. I couldn't provide for this guest. The chicken was burnt or something. Like all this negative stuff that comes is, focus on yourself and get yourself healthy in the sense of uh fueling your body with nutritional stuff, as in not just, I know it's hard, but going and getting like the frappuccinos from Starbucks just to get through your day. If you actually start fueling your body, eating as much and as healthy as you can before going into that shift, um, is key. Like having a good breakfast or whatever time that shift starts, is so important, just to give yourself that healthy energy. And long shifts are hard, right? Like especially retail this time of year and restaurants. But I always try to prepare myself for the next day and getting out snacks, something that's really quick that you can take 30 seconds to get something in you to help you with more energy for the rest of your shift. So those would be like the two most important thing. Of course, water, but also it's the afterwards too. Like after your shift, what are you doing afterwards? Are you going to bed to try to get as much sleep, because that's important, before your next shift the next day? So it's the before and after that you could really focus on, and just having that quiet time, and not being rushed before you enter your shift is key to focus on you, and then things around you will just happen, and you know how to handle them after a while of just, I don't
Right?
need this negativity in my life. Like
Well
um
said.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I would say those are my tips.
fabulous.
There we go.
I think
Sounds like a plan.
sounds like
I
a
Yeah.
hope
great plan.
everybody
And I think
enjoyed it.
it's about um the healthier you are physically, mentally, and prepared, the happier you're going to be at the job. Look, I would never be able to work retail at this time of year. So whoever's watching, who's in, God bless you. But you know what? Just smile. Even if you're like, oh, there's another question from this old lady who doesn't know how to shop, meaning me, the old lady. It just smile, because it'll relax you. It'll relax the person you're talking to. Be grateful that you have a job of service to others who are frantically trying to buy something for their loved ones, right? And so just ground yourself first, and then smile, take some deep breaths, hydrate and fuel your body, like Kyla said, and hopefully you can go into the season just a little bit healthier than years before. So
Great.
wonderful.
Perfect.
Thank you. Perfect way to have a conversation with the amazing Kyla. Thank you so much. Your experience has been very well received, and I can't thank you enough. Can't wait to see you again in person one day.
Yes. Thank you for having me on.
Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.